But this is kind of leads me into the three things that are kind of the biggest things that I see, and they're not what you think. Number one is relationships. So what does this even mean? Like, how does this even apply to overcoming an injury or getting pain? I think it's super important. Here's my rationale behind it. And hey guys, if you know somebody who's having pain or anything, go ahead and tag them in the video, or if you know somebody that should watch this, tag them, share this out to people on your page. But relationships, why is this so important? Well, here's the thing. If you've been to a doctor or you've been to a medical provider of some sort, probably in the past 10, 20, whatever years, you probably have felt like you weren't really worth that much, that maybe they have not really cared about you. They may just kind of like saw you really fast and then like, sent you on your way, gave you something and sent you on your way. They probably didn't, they may not even ask you like many questions at all, like what do you do for a living, how many kids do you have, how's your day going, etc. I think a lot of the medical medical field today, largely, there's many exceptions, but I'm just saying largely the people experience, the relationship is like has been taken out of medicine and health, which is pretty sad. It's kind of like the way like a lot of like society is kind of going like right now, which is scary. But in some arenas. But what I'm saying is, hear me out. Would you rather, if you were going to like a trainer, or would you going to a PT or to your doctor, would you rather like go to your medical provider and then actually have like a relationship with them, like actually like they have like a genuine conversation, maybe not just about like what you're dealing with, but about like what you like to do, like what's your plans this weekend, what sports team do you like, how many kids do you have, and etc. Like, I think relationships is super important in whenever you're seeing somebody for an injury, because it basically fosters like it's one little aspect that can really help that client feel good and be confident, and then also actually build trust between a client and a provider, and that just kind of like fosters just really good energy. And when positive energy is around in the room, it helps with healing. I see it all the time. Not so much now, but whenever I was working before, and John Stone, he could probably say more about this. But whenever you have someone that you are seeing or treating, especially for me, like whenever I treat people for like a longer time. But whenever you have someone that maybe like they're not in it, like they're not like maybe they came in with bad energy, or maybe your therapist or your doctor just came in and like just like really like having a dud of a day, and he's just like taking it out on you. It doesn't create much energy. And whenever especially something like PT or like what we do here, whether on the region side or rehab side, like what we're doing in the time that we have together is not just it's not taken lightly. We're trying to get like results like fast and like get you feeling good. So whenever there's not good energy between like the patient, our client, and the provider, that can like lead to some really bad outcomes, and it's not very healthy for either one. But at least the trust, that like trust, I think it leads like, I have multiple clients that I've been seeing as clients, not just for 8 weeks or 12 weeks, but for months, and one even for like a year. And it's not even, and someone told me today that they want to stay with me like, as long as possible. So it's not that they're having the same issue, but they just like, they trust me, because we take the time to really get to know our clients. And like, I almost even hate the word clients, because like it makes it feel like it's not like genuine, like they're like our friends that we just like to help out. And that's kind of what's the missing piece. So that kind of leads to like you being, you finding someone that you really, really like and really trust, and then leading, then that like turns into like a long-term relationship to where if you ever have anything, that's like one thing off your mind. Like, I'm gonna call this guy. Like, I know like so and so. I'm gonna call them to see what I need, or I know they're gonna take care of me. I might stay with them for life. John says that goes for your medical providers. We're invested in them. Keep wise counsel. Yep. Danielle hopped on. Chris hopped on. What's going on? Welcome in, guys. So like that's why I think it's super important and why it's just like not thought about. But So number 2 is action. Some people may have. I think this kind of ties into what Mom said earlier about no time. It's kind of tied in, but a lot of time people don't really have. I don't want to say this. I don't want to step on your toes, but people just don't take action. People just don't do it. They feel pain or discomfort, and they think that it'll just go away. They think that they may not, I don't want to like have to go through all that trouble, or I'll just go and ask my friend who had similar problems, so maybe she can give me some recommendations. Don't do that. Don't do that. Or I'll go look on YouTube, or and try to see if I can read something to try to help my problem. It's a slippery slope, and that can like lead you further down the road to just being more hurt and more injured, and that just like prolongs the healing process. Like, people who come in here like immediately after or early on after feeling something, like they get better so much faster. It's ridiculous. Like you wouldn't even believe it. I wish I had like a small clinical trial on people who we saw immediately within like 2 weeks, or even 2 weeks after their injury, as opposed to people who had been dealing with something for 6 months or more. Super important. Take action. Like if you have something going on, like tomorrow, you need to call somebody and get it done, and like figure out to make it work. John says if I ignore my problems, they don't go away. They get worse and spill over into other areas of my life. Yeah, seriously. I was having a talk with someone today. She's been doing something for like a long time, and we're trying to get her back. We're working on it. And at times, like whenever you're dealing with something for a super long time, even though you're taking action now, it can be like almost psychologically exhausting, and kind of get your mind off track of other things, and it kind of impacts your life in other ways, which is John's point, which I like it, because I had to tell her like, hey, just because we might have to like dial something back a little bit, or may have to take a step back to take 2 steps forward. Or maybe if you feel something that you're not super, you're not really getting the jump that you want, just find ways to be grateful for the process you're on, and make sure that you keep your mind focused on what's at hand, and not letting those like difficulties just bleed over into everything else. In mid-sentence here, I want to reach out to Captain Bailiff is on live. He's on Facebook. What's up, Cap? I miss you, man. I hope you're doing well over there. That's point number 2. So number 1, relationships. Number 2, action. And number 3 is self-worth. Woo! Man, I'm about to dig into some people right here. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna be mean. But this is totally true. How much do you value yourself? Like, seriously, it's a serious question. How much do you value your health and your body? How much do you value, the time that you have, being with your family, playing with your kids? How much do you value your career and being able to do it as well as you can? How much do you value going out to the pier and running, playing volleyball, golfing on weekends? Like, how much do you value all that? Because here's what I mean by that, and it goes deeper into more. I think one of the biggest things is, John said, taking your car off the road for a little bit of restoration to keep it performing at a high level for longer is acceptable. I can't see more. Acceptable, but not with our bodies. Yeah. So one of the things I kind of mean about this, as far as like having like self-worth and letting that show in your actions, right, is I was having a conversation with someone earlier today, and how do I want to put this? She made a comment, I guess, about about us being here in St. Pete, not like a bad comment, but like she's like, oh, like I was telling her about what we do. She's like, oh, that's kind of like a tall task, like being in an area where they have like all Florida or Florida orthopedics or something like that, like all Florida orthopedics or something. And so we were talking, and I was talking about it, and I was like, yeah, I know it's, you know, like, yeah, they're here, like whatever. We don't really care about that, but we're like totally different than what they do. And then so I had to educate on her about what we do, and I was like, yeah, like, you know, asked her if she'd been there. She said, yeah. I was like, isn't it like they see tons and tons of people just like in a small amount of time, and they just kind of like run them through, like they're just like on a shoot, what do you call it? Like a belt. They just kind of like bring them through. And she was like, yeah, that's exactly how it is. Like I feel like no one even like knows me. And I was like, amen. Like that's exactly what it is. Like we're not like that. We don't want to be like that. I was like, you know, people see people who value themselves and value their health and their body. They're looking for people like, or places like us that do it differently than that because they've experienced that. And I'm going to tie this into why self-worth matters. Don't worry. But I've had clients who come all like very often that say, yeah, I've been to PT at so-and-so, or I've gotten, you know, this something done, like you know, I went to this doctor or whatever, and I just didn't really like it. I just didn't feel like they even recognized me, or just like somebody else had just given stuff to, and didn't really feel like they really knew who I was or what I did or what I wanted to get back to. And I was like, that's exactly my point. So why self-worth? I just kind of want to like just kind of flip something in your mind a little bit, because this is a touchy subject for some people, and but it's super important. And it's a question that we get asked often is like, do you take my insurance? Do you take my insurance? Do you take my insurance? So here's the deal. A lot of times we talk to people and they're like, I don't even care. Like you're just like, I want you to get me better. Like I am committed. Like I know that you can fix me. I trust you. Sometimes we have to kind of like educate people on why it's different. And once they know, like they've experienced these, that they've had this experience at some of these places where they're like, yeah, like I didn't really get that result that I wanted, or I didn't really get back to what I wanted to do, or I didn't really feel like I got anything worth my money, like whatever I paid. And I think like it's great that, you know, we're in America and we have like ability to have like insurance coverages, and like they help us pay for things like our teeth cleaning, and like if we get like in a catastrophic accident and stuff like that. But I'm not just saying this because of what we do, but I really believe that you find value, the more value that you're going to find, whether it's like your body or anything else, like service-wise, sometimes you kind of just have to, you know, go outside of the general consensus or the way of doing things the old way. Tradition has it, use your insurance. Here, man, we're going to have to come and see you 3 times, come here 3 times a week, and we're going to see you for 6 weeks. But I'm only going to see you for 15 minutes, and then this PTA or somebody else is going to take care of you, and yeah, I might not ever see you again. So like, what? Like, are you kidding me? Point being is, you know, I think people who value their body like understand this completely. They're like, yeah, like I don't care what it is. I want to continue running. I want to continue like playing with my son, which we had someone in last week that he was like, you know, I'm just tired of not being able to hold my son in my hand, in my arms, because he's like 10 months old. Not that heavy, but he can't even hold his son in his arms. And he's like, I'm tired of it. And I've been to these places and I haven't really gotten the answer. And he was like ready to like go to something, even if it wasn't like with his insurance. So like, I think that just says like, hey, value your body, value your health, value your time too, because we sure do. And I think